What is going on? Welcome back to Jiu-Jitsu Outlet. I'm sitting down with my buddy Scotty P. Scotty Pelzel, what is up, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, dude. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here, too. It's been too long since we've done a podcast. We've been doing a lot of episodes over on my other show, Beyond Homo Sapien, or our other show, Beyond Homo Sapien. And we've been chatting a lot. We got to chill in person a couple of weeks ago. And but we have not recorded another episode of Jiu-Jitsu Outlet. So it's really good to have you back here on this show. So welcome back. It feels like I've been podcasting with you a lot, but also like I haven't. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, my brain was filling in the words as you were talking, and it was ready for you to say, welcome to the Beyond Homo Sapien podcast. But no, I mean, we always have a good time every time we do one. So I think we just both been super busy, but it'll be good to get back into a flow of things and get some more episodes in.
Yeah, man, 100%. So I know that you've got a new app, and I know that we're going to talk about that, and we're going to speak about like how AI or how technology can make you better at jiu-jitsu. But first, I just want to talk about this topic a little bit. So I'd love to hear your take on this. Like, if you want to get better at jiu-jitsu, I know this is a really broad question, but what would you say is like the number one thing a person can do if they decide that they want to get better at jiu-jitsu?
You know, besides the obvious of, mat time or showing up to class, right? Those are the two most basic things. But if you're doing that and you're wondering what can you do to take it a step further, something that my coach told me in football practice, over 10 years ago, 15 years, was that if you want to be good at football, you had better be watching football in your off time. And that just makes so much sense. And the same is true with jiu-jitsu. Some people like to make fun of the people that know all the names and all the events and stuff, but I've just found that the more I see jiu-jitsu, the more I can incorporate it in. And I have this really badass story of one of the first submissions I ever landed. I was on deployment, and we would do these fight nights for camaraderie and morale, and we would essentially just grapple each other in the middle of the ship. And it became, one of my favorite days to actually be a part of. And the way that I was able to pull off my first submission was watching UFC's top 100 fights. And in there was a match where Matt Hughes locked in Americana in the match. And I had a little portable DVD player. This was long ago. So I had a little portable DVD player. I had the UFC DVD, and I would just sit there and I was rewinding it over and over again and just watching it. And then if you can imagine, I'm in this tiny little bunk, right? That's on ship with 3,000 other Marines. I'm in this tiny little thing on my tiny little DVD, and I'm just watching it, and I'm snapping the wrist, and then he puts it under the elbow, and then okay. And yet, dude, the very next grapple session that we had, I was able to get an Americana, and people were coming up to me like, dude, what was that? How did you do that? And it just all clicked for me. I was like, dude, I'm watching this stuff nonstop. And that's how the idea for the app came about, was just I wanted a better way to be able to watch techniques.
Yeah, and I know that's what your YouTube channel is all about too. Like, you just go deep on the footage, and I can tell you watch a ton of tape. And I don't think enough people do that, man. Like, it's something that you really need to prioritize, especially like the ADCC matches. I mean, a lot of them are free on the Flow Grappling YouTube channel, and you can just watch what high level the best in the world looks like. Like just the other day, I was watching a match with Ty Rutolo. I think it was, I forget which one, but I think it was him versus Felipe Pena or something like that, but I don't exactly remember. But, dude, he was throwing in so many feints, and I just realized like how often he was feinting in that match, and also his feints don't look like anyone else's. And I've tried to incorporate that a little bit into my game now, and I've tried to like steal how he feints. And it's made a big difference. Like, he does this kind of like bob and weave motion almost. And it almost looks like he's a boxer. But just those little things you can pick up, and you can add it to your game right away. You can be like, oh, when Ty Rutolo feints, he feints like this. He goes kind of in this direction, and it's kind of like this weird, he almost cuts this weird little angle in his feint. And he does it constantly, like a little snake. And yeah, but just those little things, they make a big difference, for real.
Yeah, 100%. And, that's what they say about John Danaher, is that he's always watching footage from, whether it's footage of wrestlers, footage of judokas, footage of BJJ grappling, but he's always watching some crazy footage. They always say he goes back to like older Olympic trials and pulls grappling moves from there. And, after hearing that, it just makes so much sense to me that there's, you know, countless clips out there, countless footage out there that's just lost that no one even knows about. And if you take the time to watch it, you could definitely figure something out.
And it's really interesting that you would say that, because what we find is a lot of the old stuff becomes new again, and a lot of the stuff that we think is new is not new. Like it's from like one time I went to a Dean Lister seminar, and he was telling us about how he had gone to, I guess, where ancient Mesopotamia was, which I think is modern day Iraq. And he said that he saw a statue of someone doing an omoplata, like a stone carving from like thousands of years ago with a freaking omoplata. And he was like, yeah, if you think it's all new, like it is not new. It's like they were doing omoplatas back 5,000 years ago, you know, and it's just a matter of, I think it's really wise, because probably what John's doing, I mean, just, I don't know, but just to hedge a little guess, is he might be trying to like find some of those moves that like used to work back in the day, but we've forgotten about them because it's been 50 years or whatever. And it's a move that still works, but no one's using it, you know, because they just don't know. It's just not in the vernacular anymore.
Right. 100%. And yeah, so one of the ways that I've restructured the app for better learning is that, you know, a lot of times when you're looking at this footage, it can get boring. Like you know, if you're watching a 20-minute 80cc match, you know, that's a lot, right? Especially if all they're doing is collar tying and pushing. And I also find the same thing with instructionals, that a lot of times someone breaking down a technique and they're taking 45 minutes to show me one little thing is kind of brutal. And for me, I've just always found that I just want to see the move. I just want to like show it to me, and then I want to see it again, and then again and again and again and again and again. So I don't want to be skimming through 40 minutes of footage just to see you do it one time and you're talking the whole time. Or, you know, I don't want to go, you know, go through an entire 20-minute match to find like one little thing. So what I've done is I've essentially, when I started, that's what my YouTube channel is about, is taking the best moments from those matches and then breaking it down for the audience, whether it's someone who is a fan and doesn't do it, or someone who's in it and just wants to kind of see what's happening. And then also on the app, I just show the techniques. I don't do any talking. I just show it to you, and I give you a couple camera angles, and the entire clip of any move is anywhere from 20 to 25 seconds. So you can just watch it over and over again and just see it and move on.
Dude, that's awesome. And I love how you have it set up on the app where you can very easily do that. You're right. Like, dude, I do the same freaking thing. Whenever there's a cool spot in the match, I'm always just trying to like rewind it, you know, a minute or two or something like that. And, dude, like you're onto something there. And dude, people get so boring, with their instructionals sometimes and the way that they teach. Like it can go on, like you're saying, for an hour sometimes, or 45 minutes. Like, dude, like it's really hard to do that. You're right. Like I think that a lot of times folks think like, oh, that's not a big deal if I only show it once or twice, because, they can just go back and rewind. But like that gets kind of annoying. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to keep rewinding like 20 freaking times and whatnot, you know. It makes it a lot easier if it's just something like what you have set up where I can just quickly go back and forth, you know? So dude, I love it, man. I love it. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that too. Like, when you were designing this app, what was your big motivation? Like, what was your inspiration for doing this and putting it together?
Man, well, it's an idea that's been coming for a long time, dude. Like, it's been in my head for years. So it kind of just slowly started to come together as, you know, I started to flesh the idea out. But I had an idea about an app that would show jiu-jitsu before Jiu-Jitsu X was a thing. Like I was trying to put a team together to make it happen. And then Jiu-Jitsu X came out with their stuff. And I was like, they stole my idea. You know, it's, and you know, that's just true with anything. Anytime you get an idea, you have to realize it's not yours, that it's out there in the ether and that other people can tap into it. And you have to kind of learn to develop an ability to execute on an idea before, you know, it becomes a thing. But one of the major motivations was that, you know, the same reason that I create content, I already know that I'm going to do jiu-jitsu for the rest of my life. And so it's like, why wouldn't I, you know, find ways to incorporate jiu-jitsu and other areas of my life, whether it be, ways to monetize or just ways to get, develop an audience, you know? So I never, even though that creating content can be work, at the same time, it's like, I'm going to be doing jiu-jitsu anyway, till the day that I die. So I might as well try and do something with it. And so that was one of the major motivations. And another thing too is just like, you know, it's kind of annoying how there's subscription fees for everything. Like, it just kind of bugs me. It's like, you know, one of the biggest platforms in the world is YouTube, and they started by offering the clips for free. And so it's just mind blowing to me that some people will just essentially save other people's content and then charge people for it, even though they weren't even the original creators of the content. They're like just a curator of content, and then they charge you for it. And so for me, it's just like, man, if you really embody like the competitor lifestyle, and you're, you know, you don't have a lot of money, you're paying money to hopefully one day make money. And then it's like, how are you supposed to learn and grow if every single app costs money? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that you, just like me, have probably like 10 subscriptions to various apps and technologies that we use.
Dude, no, I feel you. Like, there's so many things that are happening where it's behind a paywall, and then you got to put in your credit card to even see the information. You know, it's like, dude, what the heck? It's not what anyone wants. Like, there's no value there. You know, there's nothing. You gotta pay for it. You gotta put in your information. Like, people don't want to do that. I don't want to do that constantly. I don't have time.
100%, dude. And another thing that really started to birth it too is that this honestly came from a need from just like the things that I wanted to see, which is like, so there is no platform that offers quick videos, right? So like, if you wanted to search a technique, the best place to do that is to go to YouTube. But then you just get, you know, you'll get 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos, and then you really don't even know what it is that they're going over. You hope that it's the one that you're thinking of. So then you go to the video, and then you got to sit there and go through the 10 or 15 minutes of them talking and whatever. They're literally like halfway in the position, and they're looking at the camera talking. And you're like, dude, I just want to see what it is that you're doing, right? So, but then Instagram has the small clips for more digestible content, but there's no way to search the specific techniques. Like, you can't go into Instagram and type in heel hook from Ashigarami and find a heel hook. You know, you'd have to be lucky to maybe put leg lock in, and then you're going to scroll through anyone that uses leg lock in their videos. So I just found that I couldn't ever find any technique that I was looking for on Instagram. And now they do allow you to save it, but it ends up just being this giant page of all your saved videos. So you can save something and it still gets lost. And that would just irk me, dude, because I want to share the information that I find. So I want to like go show someone like, oh, dude, there's a sweet, you know, thing that we got to drill. And I'm like, hold on, but I got to find it. Oh man, I swear, dude, I saved it the other week. And then I'm still scrolling, trying to find exactly where it was in my save room. So I was just like, man, there's got to be a better way to have quick videos. They're labeled with the technique, and I could just search and find them, and then they could just be on my phone at all times, you know? Because like, you don't want to be looking for something when you're trying to drill after class. You're already tired. You just want to like know where it's at, pull it right up, and get to it. So that's kind of where it just started to funnel into this like idea.
Dude, it's a beautiful app that you put together, guys. If you haven't downloaded it yet, go to the App Store and look up Jiu-Jitsu Breakdowns. I'm going to put a link down below to download it, but I've been using it, and I've also been recommending it to all the new students that sign up. Like, anytime any one of them comes in and says like, hey, what can I do in between classes? Say, we got this app, Jiu-Jitsu Breakdowns. So if you're an instructor, I really recommend like tell your new students who are signing up about this, because it's something that they can download where they can easily learn all the different submissions in between class. And obviously they're going to have to come in to drill and actually get that technique down, but they're going to at least understand the vocabulary and the vernacular. And I really like what Scott's put together, which is why I'm helping him push this. And I think it's a great resource, man, because we need something like this. And I really see like the vision for where this is going, how you could use AI to basically, you know, curate the whole thing and teach someone jiu-jitsu. So could you talk a little bit about that? Like, what's the vision for the future of this whole project?
Yeah, so obviously I want to get bigger and bigger and better over time. So right now I'm working on doing another video drop. So soon there will be another 25 videos available for everyone to watch. And then the next big goal after that is I'll start shooting instructionals, so that will be available. And then, you know, after it starts to build up to where I really feel like there's just like a huge, you know, value there, one of the next things that I want to work on is incorporating ChatGPT, so that it can help you find exactly what you're looking for. So you can ask it specific questions on like, you know, I'm trying to get my ankle locked down. What are some videos that I can watch? And it'll direct you straight to the video of all the ankle locks. Or another thing too is you could ask it about jiu-jitsu in your area, and it'll tell you about possible gyms. You know, maybe one day we could set something up where we verify the most awesome gyms in the area, and then ChatGPT recommends those to you. That would be cool. But another thing that I imagine that AI would be able to help do is help you essentially figure out a teaching structure that's going to be specified towards you. So the AI will be able to analyze the information that you've put into the app, how long you've been training, body type, age, weight, and then ChatGPT will be able to come up with a structuralized plan that will be fitted for you to get better at jiu-jitsu. And so essentially I'll be able to offer specific guidelines on how to get better, not just a conglomeration of videos.
Dude, that's game changing, like literally, because anyone could then just go in and get a custom made plan for what exactly they should be working on. And as an instructor too, that'll help you so much because you can have a tailored report that's made just for those students based around their different markers and their different things. And I mean, obviously you'll have to put in your own expertise as well on how to use that, but that's the whole point of having a coach. You know, it's just something that gives you more stuff to work with. But man, that's awesome. So I just wanted to close, and I know we got to wrap this up here pretty soon, but I wanted to close with one more kind of question about this. So let's say someone's downloaded the app and they're watching and they've studied everything that they need to study and they're consuming the information, if that makes sense. Like what's something that they could do while they're rolling or during class? Like what's something that they could actively implement to get better at jiu-jitsu inside of the class? Like I'd love to hear your take on this question too.
Yeah, so in the same sense that you want to watch footage to get better when you're off the mats, one thing that you can do when you're on the mats is watch the higher belts. So a lot of times what you find is, when someone asks me how to get better, I tell them to look at their peers. Like who's the best white belt here? What are they doing? Right? So like anytime that I wanted to better myself at any point in my jiu-jitsu career, it would just be like, when I was a white belt, I made sure I was the hardest training white belt. Like no other white belt was staying on the mat longer than me. No other white belt was getting as much mat time as me. Same thing at blue belt, same thing at purple belt. I try to do the same thing at brown belt. And so try to absorb the traits that you see from your fellow jiu-jitsu practitioners. And it doesn't even have to be the people that are on the mat. It can be like someone that you see on Instagram, whatever. Like you could, if you want to get better at jiu-jitsu, are you the last one on the mat? Or did you even stay extra for 10, 15 minutes and rep? I went to Henzo's one time in the blue basement, learned from John Danaher. And then afterwards, there's this, I think it was a brown or purple belt, but he pulled me aside after. He's like, hey, could I just hit all the techniques real quick on you? Can I just go through them real quick? And I was like, I'm dead. But I was just like, yeah, sure, dude. And then he literally like went through each sequence that Danaher had taught. And he's like, okay. And then just kind of went through the whole thing. And then even after the class, he was still messing it up a little bit and trying to fix the little things he was still messing up. But that stuck with me. I was like, man, that just makes so much sense. Why wouldn't I go back and re-drill after rolling what I learned in the class that day? Like that's just such an easy way to really get the techniques to stick, And now that I'm a brown belt and I have a lot of expertise, I always stay after. I make sure that I'm one of the last ones to leave. If there's like sometimes people stay really long and they'll stay over, but no one stays as long as me consistently every single day. I stay for an extra 20 minutes and I drill whatever I saw my blue belts mess up that day. I'll drill what I messed up that day. I'll get with one of my guys that always sticks with me and I'm like, all right, dude, what happened today? What do we need to work on? What was that last match we had at the Naga? Oh yeah, you messed up that butterfly hook. We're drilling butterfly hooks today. So that's the easiest thing that you can do is look to your peers. Who's doing better than you? What is he doing to be better? Copy that dude. Right? And if you want to get better and you're the one that's leaving right as the class is over, stay for 10 more minutes and get 3 more reps in of the rep that that your coach just taught you. And that'll earn your coach's respect too. Like that's like the biggest compliment that you can do for a coach is stay after and redo the techniques that he showed you earlier.
Man, those are some easy tips that anyone can implement. And dude, everything you're saying hits home so much. Like, and guys, if there's no one who stays late, like sometimes I've been in a position where I might be the only person who could stay late or whatever position, or even if you had a smaller gym, just staying late and hitting some push-ups, hitting some handstands, doing some pull-ups, like doing a little bit of yoga just to get better. Like, there's no excuses here for real. Like there's no excuses. Even if you're the only person who's staying late that day, there's still things you can do to get better. And Scotty, I got to wrap this up, man, but I know we want to talk one more time just about the Jiu-Jitsu Breakdowns app. Can you just tell us, like, where can people go to find it? I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but yeah, just remind them. where can they go find it?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I have links to both to the apps on Google Play and the Apple Store. So if you find me on social media or on YouTube, you can find the links there, or you can search Jiu-Jitsu Breakdowns wherever you get your apps. Google app. If you got like a European phone or something, I'm sure they got something over there. But yeah, just search it and it'll pop up. Give me let everyone know where you're from and how long you've been training in the Fight Fam group chat. We have a little community chat there, and we've got people from all over the world commenting, dude. It's cool. I had someone from Scotland, someone from Canada. So the community really is building up. And, the reason it's free is because I have been broke my whole life, and I want to give something back. This isn't, obviously it would be nice to make money, off this thing, but my main goal is to provide value for the people who, are struggling to make the gym payment, but jiu-jitsu is like the most important thing to them. So they're willing to sacrifice that $140, sometimes $200, $250 for the jiu-jitsu membership. And then it's like any source outside of that costs money, and sometimes you just don't have it. So the main reason I'm giving this app away for free, despite everyone telling me that's a dumb idea, is because I want people to have the information. Like, no one owns jiu-jitsu, and I just want to be able to at least give out value to people who take the time to follow me, support me, comment. Like, it just means so much. So this is my way of giving back.
That's beautiful, Scott. I think if more people did that in our world, we would have a lot better education. We'd have a lot more people with opportunity, with access to it. So, dude, that's awesome. It really motivates me. So, dude, thank you so much for coming back on the show and for putting together Jiu-Jitsu Breakdowns. And we'll be in touch. We'll record another episode soon.
Oh, yeah. See you, Paul.
Oh, great. Thanks, guys, for listening.